Conference, but Brian Dean is
only because he saw you rehearsing before. That's why he knew.
4 marks if you got Brian Dean after 654 career appearances.
He
the
thought
Sheffield
it was
United
Dean.
and Leeds legend moved into management. The land of opportunity turned out to be Norway, and he takes charge of his first game tomorrow. Juliet Ferrington dug out a thick sweater and set sail for Scandinavia.
It was back in 2006 when Brian Dean hung up his boots, but a new challenge awaits over 1,200 miles away in Sarpsborg, an hour's drive from Oslo.
How did you get yourself into Sarpsborg?
I spoke to a friend. He's now a football agent over here, and I'd said, you know, I finished my A licence, and I said, look, Tor, if any opportunities come up over here, can you please consider me, or can you, if you speak to people, can you tell them that I'm looking for a managerial post? I didn't hear from him for a while, and then I got a call from him out of the blue, so I was a bit taken aback, and I was like, oh, right, okay. And then he explained who the club was, he told me the background. It really did match what I wanted to do. I have all my experience, and I think it was a case of, well, they said, well, okay, you know, there's your background, this is where we want to go. Can you take us to the next level?
When you say you need to be creative, and you talk about your philosophy, what is your philosophy?
Well, you know, when I was playing, I used to hear people saying, you know, play football the right way. I mean, I've played for teams where we've probably been anti that at times from some people's point of view. Having looked at my career and looked at what I think is aesthetically pleasing, I like to play a way where we play through the thirds, give players challenges in terms of being able to handle tight situations. And that's through passing and moving. You know, we know that we've got probably the smallest budget in the league, but, you know, we will try and entertain. You know, when we get it right, we'll look good.
And do you look at people like, say, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and what he achieved in his first full season as well by going on to win the title?
Full respect to Ole. He's had a fantastic mentor at Manchester United. I think he's been at an amazing club in Manchester United, and he's obviously picked up a lot of good things from there and implemented them at Molde. He's brought over his own coaches. I've heard some good things. You know, he believes in the way how it was at Manchester United, and I think that's reflected in how they've done.
When you looked at your own situation, did you feel you wouldn't get that chance to coach in England?
It's a closed shop, simple as that. Nobody's willing to embrace new ideas, nobody's willing to give people a chance, you know, and I'm not the kind of person who thought, well, I'll try and get a job off my my reputation as a player. I thought, well, I'm going to go through the process of getting my badges, you know, learning a little bit about the game away from the game. So yeah, it was still frustrating to think that after going through all that process, I wasn't even going to get the opportunity. I had applied for jobs, but nothing back. I think one club, I won't say who, but they sent me an email just politely saying no. So it was a little bit of frustration because, you know, here I am. I played professional football for 21 years. I've played under some good managers, played under some England managers, played under some good club managers, and I just couldn't find a way in. We're going to go with a 4-2-3-1 today, boys.
But do you still feel there are barriers still in place preventing people like yourself being considered for jobs?
Are you talking about Black?
Yeah, that was a polite way of putting it, maybe.
Well, no, I think that there aren't enough chairmen, you know, directors willing to take a chance because they, for whatever reason, might feel that, you know, this isn't the right person to lead our club, you know. And I know there might be some people out there who are older than me who, you know, managers who are saying there aren't any barriers, but, you know, let me tell you, when I was coming into the game as a young player, you know, I had to put up with a lot of rubbish. And, you know, I kept my head down because I didn't want to be known as a troublemaker. I knew that, you know, if you get a reputation, that you can quite quickly find yourself ostracised. So I just thought, you know, get on with what you've got to do, Brian.
Because you played abroad, did that have a major impact in your decision to try and manage abroad?
It just made it easier for me in my own mind to feel like I could do it. I know what it's like being abroad. I've always been, if anybody asks me about English players abroad, I always say we don't have enough players going abroad and trying to cut their teeth and you know, bring something back to the national team, really. And that's why I think when we go into tournaments, we always struggle, because we haven't got anybody who brings something a little bit different from another culture. We're too comfortable at times. We don't have a plan B. And, you know, it's only my opinion. But, you know, I really think that players should start thinking about, you know, you look at David Beckham's career. You know, he's played abroad, he's had a fantastic career abroad. You know, how many other exports have we got? How many players have we had get out of their comfort zone and think, well, you know, I'll go and see if I can crack it abroad.
Great to catch up with Brian Dean. Struggled to break down the managerial door in this country, so almost been forced to look elsewhere and trying to show people what he's got in Norway.
Well, I think he's done it the right way. He's got his badges, he's kept his head down. I think it's quite sad, really, that, you know, a young British manager has had to go to Norway to try and start his career. Why not give an opportunity? One of the managers, one of the chairmans in the lower leagues, give an opportunity in this country.
I think the irony is that if he's successful there, they'd be queuing for him. You know, can't get a job in England, goes to Norway, does well, comes back. Excuse me, he will get a job.
But better to do that than sit here and moan about not getting a job, isn't it?
And he's very honest. That was a really good interview. He's very, very honest about it. It is a closed shop, I'm afraid. It really seriously still is, no matter what everyone else thinks.